Hello students. So in previous class we have discussed about the evolutionary theories. One is Lamarckism theory and another one is the Darwinism theory. So again here Lamarckism theory already studied. He has given two principles. One is use and the disuse theory and another one is the principles of acquired inheritance character. Okay. So in detail we have already discussed regarding these two principles. So next we'll move on to the Darwinism or the Darwin theory. So people have already heard Darwin's name, right? So Darwin, he is one of the famous naturalist and he is the grandson of Erasmus Darwin, right? So during his voyage or during his journey, he came across different varieties of plants and the animals, right? Darwin, he has got an opportunity to lead a team, and he had during his voyage or the journey in the HMS Beagle, he has got an opportunity to lead the team with a journey in the ship which is known as the HMS Beagle. It's the ship name, right? So during his journey, he has seen different varieties of plants and the animals, right? Different species of plants and animals, and he has collected the fossils from those places, right? So again here he has visited different places like Australia, America, and oceanic islands of Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. So these are the important places where the Darwin has been visited during his voyage. Or during his journey with his team, he has come across the different places like Australia, America, and the oceanic islands of Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Okay. So after his journey, when he's returned to his place, he has started observing all the data what he has collected, and he has begun research or this studies the data what he has collected. So again here, during his study, he has referred the book or the reference which is known as the Geology and the Population. He has referred the book. The book name is known as the Geology and the Population, which was written by the Malthus. Okay. So after the complete analysis or the complete studying the what are the observation he made, that is the different varieties of plants and the animals he came across, and he has analyzed the data what he has collected. He came into a conclusion, that is based on his observation, he told that there is an overproduction, constancy of number, and occurrence of variation. He has given the observations that first is the overproduction, constancy of number, and occurrence of the variation. Then he has given the conclusion, a struggle for existence and the survival of the fittest. Right after his journey, after the studying or the analyzing the data, he given the observation and the conclusion, that is the overproduction, constancy of number, occurrence of variation, and he given the conclusion, that is the struggle for existence and the survival of the fittest. Okay. So what does the Darwinism says? Darwinism, it is nothing but evolutionary ideas contributed by the Darwin. Darwinism is nothing but they are the evolutionary ideas contributed by the Darwin. Darwin, he has complete his ideas or the theories were represented in the book, or he has written in the book which is known as the Origin of Species. Right? That Darwin, he has written his theories in a book which is known as the Origin of the Species. It is the name of the book. Okay. So during his journey or during his voyage, he has led his journey in a ship which is known as the HMS Beagle, and he came across different places, four important places like Australia, America, and oceanic islands of Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Then after his journey, the complete data was analyzed, and he did a research, studied the different books. That is two important books. What he had referred is the Geology and the Population, which is written by the Malthus. Right. So after the complete studying, he has given the given the observation and the conclusion. The observation tells that there is an overproduction, constancy of number, occurrence of occurrence of variation. Then in conclusion, struggle for existence and the survival of the fittest. Okay. So in detail, we'll study now one by one. Okay. Now let us see the Darwin's observation in detail. Okay, first in the overproduction. So what happens in the overproduction? So here you can see that the tendency of the all the living organisms is to multiply rapidly. It means every organism has got the tendency to produce rapidly. According to the Darwin, what he says that it is an intrinsic ability of an organisms to reproduce much faster, and replace. Okay, means he says that in the nature every organisms they have got the ability to produce a much faster, to produce a larger in number which is needed, or which is needed for their existence. Okay, so here you can see some of the examples like the large number of mango seeds produced by the mango plants, which is necessary for the existence of the mango seeds or the mango plants. Okay, so what does the reproduction says that according to this observation, Darwin, he says that every organisms have got the tendency to multiply rapidly, right? Or it is also an intrinsic ability to produce much faster and replace them. Okay, so second observation, what is the second observation is that it is the constancy in size. So here what did Darwin says that in spite of overproduction, the number remains constant. The number remains more or less constant, or it remains steady. Why it remains steady? Again, there are many questions. Like for example, there may be the environmental factors. Like for example, air, water, light, etc. Or apart from this, there may be also the attack of the parasitism, predation, or the diseases. Some of the factors are there which is also necessary for the maintenance of the constancy of the size of the organism. Okay. Okay, so far we have studied about the overproduction and constancy in the size. So next we'll move on to the another concept, that is the occurrence of variation. So according to the Darwin, he has observed that no two organisms are exactly alike. Right? That is, no two species are exactly same. There may be the variation among them. For example, the difference in the characters between the individual of a common descent means the organisms, they will not acquire the same characters from the parents, right? Then the variation, it may be of useful, harmful, or the neutral. Useful variations, they helps in the survival of the organism. So again here in variation we have got different varieties, like for example it may be useful, or it may be harmful, or it may be the neutral. Apart from this, it also helps in the survival of the organism. Right. The another important characteristic feature of the variation is that it brings about the improvement in the organisms, which leads to the evolution. Even variation, it also has contributed much to the evolution, right? That means that according to the Darwin, he gives an brief description that the offsprings or the organisms which obtain from the parents, they are not exact, or the characters which they inherit, they not resemble exactly to their parents. So for example, it may be size, height, color, or it may be either it may be the diseases or the ability to bear the diseases. Some of the characters which will not remain exactly the same. Okay, that is about the occurrence of the variation. So these are the three different variations where the Darwin has observed during his studies. That is, one is the overproduction, another one is the constancy in size, and next comes the occurrence of the variation. Again, the variation, it may be useful, harmful, or it may be the neutral. Okay, so next comes the conclusion. So apart from, after studying all the observation, like Darwin, he has given the conclusion. So next we'll study the conclusion. Okay, so far we have studied the observations made by the Darwin. So next we'll move on to the conclusion. What the conclusion did the Darwin has given. So first comes the struggle for existence. Struggle, the name itself tells the struggle. So one, if you want to survive, so we need to struggle, right? Struggle for existence, it states it's nothing but it's the competition that the organism has to face in order to survive. Okay, so again here, due to the overproduction, so what happens? Due to the overproduction, the large number of young ones are produced. Due to the overproduction, the large number of young ones are produced, and it is not necessary that all the organisms has to survive. Again, there are many factors are there which is responsible for this. That is food, water, shelter, so many things are there where we have to fight for all these needs, right? So due to this, what happens here? So our existence will become more complication because of the struggle. Okay. So what does the existence? What does the definition says here? The competition that the organism has to face in order to survive. Okay. So again here, based on these definitions, again further it has classified into three types. One is intraspecific struggle, interspecific struggle, and environmental struggle. Okay, for our existence we need to come across different hazards or the different complications in our life. In the same way, even the organisms or even the human beings have, they also come across different problems in their life. Like for example, first comes the intraspecific struggle. So what does it states here? It is the competition which is seen within the same species. Intraspecific is nothing but it is a competition which is seen between the same species. Intraspecific means it's a competition which is seen between the same species of same members. Within this same members of this species, the competition is seen in the intraspecific struggle. So here the struggle, it may be for the basic needs, either it may be food, clothing, shelter. Right? These are some of the basic needs which is required for our daily life. For all these basic needs, the struggle is seen between the same members or the same individuals of the species. That is seen in the intraspecific struggle. Next comes the interspecific struggle. Interspecific struggle. Here you can see that it is seen between the members of the different species. Members of the different species. So again here the struggle is seen of though the members of the same different species are there. For example, you can give the example of eagle and the dogs, which are having this. They are struggling for the same food. That is, it may be the flesh, right? But though the aim is one, means they have got same food, but the fight is between the two different organisms, that two different species. That is, one is the eagle and another one is the dog. Okay. Next comes the environmental struggle. So again here you can see that here the struggle is between the environment, right? That is, even for our existence we need to fight with the environmental factors or the natural factors. For example, it may be the rain, drought, floods, temperature. Even all these things will also contribute a lot for the existence, right? For our existence we need to have all the favorable conditions. Even temperature will also counts a lot. If the temperature is very much high, even it builds very difficulty for the existence of the life, right? So these are some of the struggles where the organisms has to come across for its existence. So what is the struggle for existence is? It is nothing but it's a competition that the organism has to face in order to survive. So depending upon that, we have studied three types. One is intraspecific struggle. Intraspecific means it is a struggle between the species of the same member. Among the same, for example, dogs, cats, where the fight is seen among themselves for the food, and it may be the food for the basic needs, right? Next comes the interspecific. It is seen between the members of the different species, like for example, eagle and the dogs, etc. Environmental struggle. Here you can see that the struggle is seen between the environmental factors, the member and the environmental factors. So these are the different types of struggle where Darwin has given conclusion in the struggle for existence. So next comes the survival for the fittest. So next we'll move on to the survival of the fittest. So according to this, Darwin says that the organisms which is having the favorable variations, they get succeeded in the struggle of existence, which is known as the fittest. Or in simple, we can say that in the struggle of existence or in the existence, the organisms which is having the favorable variation, or the organisms which has capacity to overcome all the hazards, means which are more strong, they will exist, and the weaker one will get perish. Okay, so again here in the struggle for existence, what happens here, those with the most adaptive characters will survive, and the one while with weaker, they will die even before the maturity, right? Before maturation only they will die. The next generation will arise from the best, with the best adaptive ones, means what this makes, during the struggle of existence, the organisms, they will adopt the best character, best adaptive characters they will adopt, and the same characters will be inherited to the next generation, means the next generation, the organisms which will arise will be having the they will having the best adaptive characters, so that they can overcome this struggle of the survival of the fittest. Okay, so far we have studied the different observation and the conclusion of the Darwin. So next we will study the schematic representation of the Darwinism. That is, what all the conclusion and observation made by the Darwin in the form of simple schematic representation. So first comes the overproduction. So far we have already studied that every organism, they have got tendency to produce the new offspring. That is, their means reproduction is more than the needed. Fine. So this leads to the struggle for existence. While the when there is a large number of production is there, then obviously there will be the more struggle for the existence, right? So this struggle for the existence, it has lead to the different variations. Again the variation, it helps to adopt the positive variations, only the positive variation has been adopted. Then the variations, it has led to the natural selection. Then from the natural selection, it has led to the survival of the fittest. So in the nature, the organisms which is having the most favorable characters or the best adaptive characters will get survive. That is with variation or variable variation characters, or the fittest one will survive and the weaker one will get perish. Then this survival of the fittest, it has lead to the accumulation of many positive variations. That this for different varieties of positive variation has been accumulated, and this leads to the formation of the new form of life. That is the origin of the new species. Right? So these are the different events which has taken place during the Darwin's period. That is, in the form of schematic representation, he explains what are the changes has been taken place during the course of time, that right from the overproduction, struggle for existence, occurrence of variation, natural selection, survival of the fittest, accumulation of positive variation, and the origin of the new species. Okay. So far we have studied the conclusion of the Darwin. So next we'll move on to the most interesting part of this chapter, that is the evidences for evolution. So you already know what is evolution and how the earth has been originated and how the first form of life came into an existence, right? So evolution, it is nothing but it is an unimaginable and incredible process. To study this, it is not possible once in a lifetime, right? It is a very slow and a gradual process. Yes. So again here many branches have there which has suggested or which have given, that is given the proof that evolution has taken place. So now next study, we'll study that what are the evidences are there for the evolution. So first and foremost, the most important is the comparative morphology and the anatomy, comparative embryology, of physiology and the biochemistry, paleontology and the natural selection. So these are the important evidences which shows that these are the different evidences which are given by the different branches, and this says that the evolution has taken place. So these are the proofs to show that the evolution has taken place. So in detail we'll study one by one what are these proof are there and what are the changes has taken place in these evidences in detail in the upcoming classes. So once we'll have a glance, because all these evidences are very much important and it will be asked for your exam. So what are the important evidences for the evolution? First comes the comparative morphology and the anatomy, comparative embryology, physiology and the biochemistry, paleontology and the natural selection. So these are the evidences we will deal in the next class. So in today's class we have studied the observation of the Darwin's theory we have studied. Again in Darwin's we have studied what are the observations made by the Darwin and what the conclusion did the Darwin has given. In the form of schematic representation we have studied the Darwinism, right? So what are the observations did Darwin made? First comes the overproduction. Next, first overproduction is there, occurrence of variation is there, struggle for existence, right, survival for the fittest and the constancy in the variation. So all these observations and the conclusions we have already studied in the form of schematic representation where it plays an important role in the origin of the new species, right? Then apart from this, these are the evidences are there which we will deal in the upcoming classes.